The man, the myth, the legend.
Go. What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And you are seeing another legend of the Car Guy Coffee crew, the one, the only Owen Moon, right here, proud sponsor of the Car Guy Coffee podcast from Fixed
Ops Digital. That's right, man. You know, we love it.
Welcome to the show again.
Good seeing you guys.
Obviously, we host another show with him, Fixed Ops Friday. We do that every other Friday. And actually, be staying tuned. Not this Friday, but the Friday after this one. We got a great episode coming. Stay tuned for some details. I'll be promoting that Monday or Tuesday, so be looking for that soon, folks. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. It's right before a digital dealer. Man, I'm excited about it. But, man, it's good to have you sitting here. It's good to have another brother in the industry to be able to hang out with while we're here. But what I've noticed, and I'm sure you noticed, is that a lot of our brothers and sisters are here, right? And it's pretty cool. It's a really tight-knit organization of people that we get together with over here at the Kain event. What brings you here? What makes you say, hey, you know what? I want to come to this event?
You know, I was here in 2019.
Right.
David had asked me to speak at one of his digital marketing 20 groups. And so after that went really well. It was very successful, event with that. He was like, hey, how would you like to do a little session on service marketing at my event? So this was 2019. Obviously, it's grown tremendously since then. Like just coming here and seeing this new facility and kind of how he's grown this event has been awesome to watch. But yeah, what was really cool is that, I kind of busted through the doors and said, hey, why don't we start thinking a little bit about service marketing and about digital? And I remember I in the room, it was it's like a 30-minute deal right before lunch. And, I got up and I started I might have been speaking, German or something. These guys are all looking at me like, what is this guy doing here? And I said, how many people here are fixed ops directors, service managers, whatever? And, maybe like one guy raised his hand. He might have been local and he kind of, his GM dragged him along or something. Sure. And David yells out from the back, this isn't that kind of conference, Owen. And I said, well, maybe it should be, back at him. And I said, but in all fairness, I said, guys, start bringing your service team to these conferences. And it was true. And what I've seen is I've seen it happen now. I mean,
you're right.
More fixed ops operation people are coming to Digital Dealer. They're coming to the Kain events. They're showing up at obviously NADA is a little bigger, so a lot of people bring their service teams. But
you're right. You're man, you got a good call on that, man. And you're right. Maybe it was time for that, and it is time, and you are seeing that more, brother. You might have started a revolution.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but I will say this is that we're trying to talk about bringing the whole dealership together, from the variable to the service side. So what better way to do that than to collaborate together at conferences, 20 groups, events? There's a time to break off and say, hey, I'm just going to focus on fixed operations on a 20 group, or maybe a fixed operations conference. But then there's times to kind of bring everybody together, and I think digital is the way to do that in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely a good bridge for it, because there's so much that a dealer can grow. There's so much that a dealer can grow. But like you were saying, it is time that we stop letting the silos be the silos. Yep. We stop letting us compartmentalize the dealership when we're actually all in this together. And on the other side, I think that plenty of influence could be had into the sales area if more of the sales side made it to some of what's happening inside of fixed ops and in those conferences, and seeing how that flows for them. Because as the sales, you're still somewhat the face of the store that's getting ready to promote all the things that have to happen even after the sale is done, right? Yeah. The bites of the apple are way more after the sale. If you know what you're doing, if you have a good digital plan in place, and if you do keep constant contact with the customers. During this particular Kain event, what is it that you're seeing that's different from the other ones, other than we went to a castle?
That castle was pretty cool. I wasn't here for, obviously, I think 2020 got canceled. I think I heard 21 was virtual, and then I didn't go last year. So, I don't have a lot of previous experience to kind of talk about. One thing I loved about this conference so far, and I'm excited for the last few speakers here today, is just the progressive content, right? It's not your old cookie cutter content. It's not a refurbished session from 2 years ago. Everything that I've heard has given me sort of that that clarity on kind of where things are going, and that's what I'm a variable guy at heart, because I spent a lot of time over there, but I spend more obviously all my time over now on the fixed side, but it's great to kind of just jump in, sit there, and just kind of listen in to see what everyone's talking about right now. It's already I have a whole page of in my notebook about things that I'm like, how can I bring this back to my team, and what can we do to kind of push this into fixed operations or into online service marketing and things like that. So just to be a student at times and to be a teacher at times is kind of the fun part about what I do is when do I jump in and educate, and then when do I just sit there and just learn and be a student.
Well, you're intentional about doing both, and love seeing that, because you'll do an event where you are straight backpacking it. I'm here to take notes and shake hands, make friends, learn stuff, and go from there. And it's an interesting mode to switch off and on, but encouraging all of you business owners, dealers, leaders, entrepreneurs, do that. Keep yourself intentional about getting educated. My man Owen Moon is always at these events that we go to, and he's in a different capacity almost every single time. And I love it. I love it, because it mixes it up a lot. Usually we're over here with a microphone, but we could definitely use more time sitting in there, listening and growing and learning too, right? So the thing about being intentional about the time that you spend, where you spend it, and what you're doing when you're doing it, that's key. That's big for all of you to be able to take down. Now, while here, because you've seen a lot of masters at putting a conference together, how cool is it, though, the way that David does fuse time in for the vendors to get their time?
Yeah, it's great, because it's he's got a hallway where you can't even get past to get into the event without hitting some of the sponsors and the vendors that are here to show some of their products and things like that. So I think that's cool. Also, I loved yesterday's format, where it was a half day, and then it was like, hey, we're gonna go to the horse races, and then we're gonna go to the castle. I got more networking done at those two events than than I did during the first day and a half of the
and that's all designed by plan.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, because what he wants to do is he wants people to don't skip a session because you got to learn about a product or a vendor, but give time to be able to do that. And then obviously in some of those social settings is, I always say, the best deal, the best relationships and the best networking and really the best business deals are done after hours. They're done
always.
They're done at that horse race. You know, I met a lot of great people at the horse races. You know, and had some fun throwing some little bit of money down too. You know?
Yeah, you did. I was watching.
I'd never done that before, so I thought, you know,
yeah, why not? Yeah, and you had a good time. You know, you didn't get out of control. You had a lot of fun going around picking horses and watching the races. And you know, and it was fun. I enjoyed it too, and I enjoy watching my friends do, especially when it's their first time or one of their first times. I know it wasn't your parents.
You've been there a few times.
Yeah, I've been to this track a few times. Obviously, I've been to Churchill Downs a bunch. You know, so I've been around the horse races quite a bit. So being in Kentucky, it's kind of like a tradition in a way. Not every Kentuckian does it, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoy those moments. I've had opportunities where I worked at companies that took us to the races and stuff like that. So it was always good. So but yeah, no, it's an experience. So I'm glad you got to go experience that yesterday. Talk about that castle. Was beautiful going in and out of that. That's something cool. As a Kentuckian, that's something I did not do yet. That castle's been here since I've been here. I've been here since 1991, and I have seen that castle so many times, and I've never been there. So being able to walk in, thank you, David, for allowing and having that to happen. Thank you, Active Engage. Shout out to y'all for setting that up and making that happen for the event. So, man, what a great night that was. Great music, great drinks. There was some good bourbon. I was like, man, I've never had that. I didn't even heard of that bourbon before. And I was like, heard of it. So I tried it, and I was actually semi-impressed by that. I was like, okay, I had a few extra little shots of it. So enjoyed myself quite a bit. But, you know, it was a good time. It was a good showing. And then, you know, of course, Lexington has a decent nightlife. A lot of people don't realize how good it can be in the central Kentucky, how you can go out and have a good time at the restaurant/bars. And then there is good bars here. And it's a college town.
The food has been dynamite.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
it's a foodie town. They've turned it into a big time foodie town. I love this place for that. Even the fast food restaurants around here are good. It's so crazy. So, but you know, they do it, man. And I'm glad you got to experience our home state, right? And got to feel that feeling of it all, man. And, you know, but speaking of the good feelings and good stuff, what's happening? What's hot right now? I know we get to know a lot of the insides and the outsides of what's going on at Fixed Ops Digital. What's hot? What are you excited about coming up the next quarter?
You know, we're really just focusing in right now on a lot of our partnerships. We've got some really cool, you know, OEM partnerships that we've rolled out, and that's keeping us very busy, obviously. And you know, we launched some new stuff at NADA. One of the big things that we launched is our recalls lookup widget that we're integrated into our platform, and recalls are a big thing right now.
You know, it is huge.
I think I put a post out a couple weeks ago. It was like 2 Fridays ago, and in 2 days there was like 140,000 Volkswagen Atlas owners and over 500,000 Honda CRV owners that woke up and realized they had a recall on their vehicle, and that's not going away. I don't know why it's so bad. I don't know if it's been a distribution issue and they've had to kind of cut, you know, some of the parts and things like that, and use, you know, just not use the quality that they have, or if they just kind of understand this is part of the game right now with the vehicles. But it's too bad that there's so many recalls out there, and you're hearing it every day. You know, I'm watching. I scan LinkedIn all the time, just looking for stuff like that, because it's great info to be able to kind of then pass to my team, and then we can kind of utilize it in our methodology and kind of how we go about things. And so our recall lookup widget has been very, very popular with a lot of our current stores. And then obviously, as we brought on some new dealers here over the last couple of months, they really like that piece of it.
That's awesome.
That's huge. And
that is really
how that would fuse so many different opportunities together too, though.
A lot. You could tie that into like different service discounts or whatever you want to do. How you could market that a million different ways. I could imagine. I think that's genius that you're doing that. You know, I always love how you're constantly, and one of the reasons why we love teaming up with you guys and being a sponsor, because even us, when we have a sponsor, we don't just, just because you want to be our sponsor. We look at what you guys do, and we love, for one, I love the people. I love you, man. You're a great guy. Obviously, we're friends. I love everything you're about. The way that you encourage, the way that you go out and present yourself, the way that you present your company, it's phenomenal. But the product, wow, right? It's a great product, great idea. It's out there crushing. I mean, even other companies are trying to do what you do, right? You know that.
Well, and it's really crazy because like watching and listening to some of the stuff that I've been hearing this week, we're moving at light speed.
Yeah, you are, bro. You really are.
Not just us, but the industry.
Yeah, the industry
is just moving at light speed. And yet you still have companies out there that are using iframes, and they're just hitting. It's like, how are they getting away with this stuff? And still, with everything that's going on and all the best practices you're seeing out there, how do companies not embrace that and say, hey, I'm going to work to do everything I can to make sure that I'm compliant with Google, that I'm compliant. They're giving you the playbook, and yet people are, kind of just not not doing it the way you're supposed to. And I think that's the challenge. That's not good. That's a challenge. Challenge I see out there every day, you know, and it's tough because that makes it tough to educate dealers, and it makes it tough to you know, kind of talk them off the ledge, so to speak, sometimes.
Well, because they're getting miseducated by the people who are still doing that. They're telling, oh, no, this still works. This is good. You're going to still get a return. It's cheaper. It's this, it's whatever. But listen, cheaper doesn't mean better, my friends. I'm going to tell you this right now. Matter of fact, most of the time it does not, especially when it comes to that.
Mean that.
You need to go, and it's, you know, and they need to go out and get educated. Dealers just need to be more informed. And it's not necessarily always the dealer's fault. A lot of times they don't realize what resources are out there, especially a lot of the independent dealers. They just don't know. Owners of franchise dealers sometimes are just so busy they don't know. Small franchise dealers definitely.
And there's a lot to know.
Right? Oh, and it's
when they're working
literally every month you got to be re-educated these days. And I love that.
It's no fault of theirs, especially on the service side, because we aren't as progressive over there. You know, obviously we're leading that charge. We're trying to help through education and fix shows like Fixed Ops Friday, and you know, I'm really active on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, which Ted Ings does a wonderful job.
He does a great job with that,
and
brother.
You know, but you have to lean in on that, and you have to educate yourself. And it's not just about the marketing. You know, one thing that I've noticed lately, a lot of dealers are, and it should be as it should be, they're really focusing on leadership, culture, and training, because I can push so much business into the market, into the dealership, but if we're handling those customers wrong, if we're not trained up, or we don't have a good process,
that's right.
And what I've told dealers is, hey, if you're focusing on training and process right now, what better time to look at your tech stack? What better time to look at, you know, your marketing and say, hey, are those things also aligned?
Right. I agree.
Because if you have a good process, but you're not incorporating the technology that you're paying for, then you're not taking full advantage of all that.
I mean, it's looking at it like a military unit, right? If you're going to go on a mission, you definitely going to have your training days. You're going to, and the purpose of your training is to also make sure that all your equipment's where it's supposed to be, right? That it's serviceable, that it's working, that it fits right. All of that stuff, because when it's time to engage, you don't want to have any holes in the boat. You don't want to have any issues with your equipment. And when inside of a military operation, there's a lot of different elements that are coming together. People that have never talked to each other can come together seamlessly, all because we're unified for the same mission. And what you do is you're an incredible unifier. One, you're always bringing people together, and I love how you've kept it as a great variety of solutionaries for the Fixed Ops Friday show, which you gals have to watch that. Make sure that you tune into that.
Always
catch the replays.
There's always some amazing solutionaries on that show that constantly that Owen's been bringing on, and it's been fun to.
It's not just about marketing. You know, we try to get other perspectives. And
sometimes it's not. It's just about life. Sometimes it's about automotive, but it's a great place for all you all in Fixed Ops to go out there and get networked with people, or maybe meet somebody or learn about somebody that can actually help you to be able to figure out what you need at your store or what you need in your career. So check those shows out. They're amazing. I love doing those. Those are some of my favorite things to do every other Friday. And it's a lot of fun to host it with Owen. Owen's a great guy. You guys know the deal. He's just a great host, and he always brings the fire. So make sure you guys don't miss out on that show.
Yeah, make sure that you get some of that. Now, Owen, how do you want people to get a hold of you so that they can find out more of the solutions that you're brewing?
All over social media, you know, find me on LinkedIn. Obviously, it's amazing how much technology is being thrown around and conversations. I got LinkedIn conversations, text conversations, email conversations. But if you just want to call me directly. 605-376-0195 is my direct line. It's always open. Owen at fixopsdigital.com is my email address. Obviously, our website, fixopsdigital.com, where you can get a lot of great resources, not just about our products, but also about things that are happening in the industry. We put all of our media stuff out there as well. So definitely, you know, if you want to just chat or jam a little bit about service marketing, if you want to just talk a little bit about just the fixed operations departments in general and kind of what we're seeing out there, when we have almost 800 dealerships now that we're servicing. So we're growing. And what I love about it is that it actually creates a natural collaboration, right? So our performance team will collaborate, and, you know, I see it all the time in our Slack channels, and it's like, man, I just got off the phone with this dealer. He's out in California. He had a really great idea. And next thing you know, all of my performance team is sort of, you know, kind of moving that direction, or we're having a conversation about it, saying, hey, how can we incorporate this strategy into our dealers. So it almost is more of a big, fraternity, so to speak. It's just a family of clients that are all kind of, indirectly helping each other. And I think that's an awesome thing. And I love to see it happening. And, I think we're on our way to 1,000 dealers, and hopefully, maybe
in no time, brother.
Maybe even 2,000 at some point. And I would have never have thought we would have gotten even where we're at today when we first started. But obviously, fixed operations is becoming a big part of the focus at dealerships, even more than it ever has been. And so we're just excited to kind of keep that going. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. It is a very important part of the dealership life. It's a very important part of this industry is fixed ops, folks. Get with Owen, get with Fixed Ops Digital, and I promise you they'll find ways to give you solutions. If anything, Owen at least points you to the right direction. That's the thing about his heart. That's why he's my brother, man. I'm telling you guys that right now. Colby Joyner, what's up, my dudes? He says, what's up, Owen, Lou, and Fred? What's up, Colby? See you soon at Digital Dealer. We'll be sharing the stage together. That's so crazy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, pumped up about that. Folks, what a great show this has been. Owen, brother, always good to have you on here. But folks, you guys know the deal. You guys know what's happening. Like the one thing about Owen and Fixed Ops Digital is that they are 100% CGC approved. I mean, we've said that before, and we're going to keep saying it over and over and over. But we appreciate you. But before we get out of here, the 3 Fs, the F-bombs. Yeah. This is something he knows all about. All right, on the count of 3, hands on your shoulders.
There we go. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, y'all. Let's go.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for an incredible interview. He's been interviewing with us since the very first conference we've ever went to. Yeah. And honored to have you as a friend.
That's true, man.
Yes,
oh my God.
So thankful. Yeah. So thankful.
Dude.
Man. So thankful for that.
Bro, that's amazing.
With that said, car guys and car gals, I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And you have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast with our proud sponsor, the one,
the only Owen Move
from Fixed Ops Digital. We'll talk to you all later. We're out.